The importance and function of agriculture. Author Raniero Cicconetti. Date 3 of August 2019. The agricultural sector, despite the evolution of contemporary society at an industrial and technological level, expresses a real importance and value not only in production but also in environmental protection, especially in the presence of a synergy between operators in the political and economic institutions for the realization of this fundamental care of our planet. For this purpose, the agricultural activity constitutes a certain relevance and social utility in the immediate and medium term on the part of the productive ethics of each operator in this sector based on the location of the land. The operation linked to the dredging and monitoring of water courses, the control of the territory inherent to the prevention of calamitous events such as floods, but also relevant and sudden climate changes. Each farmer, as well as the largest and most organized cooperatives, can perform this function at an environmental and social level, also in terms of supplying products that do not have a further impact on the hydrogeological ecosystem, and that, indeed, even in the packaging and in the distribution phase, they promote energy saving and efficiency as a strategy to operate on. The agricultural sector can also implement job opportunities, making sure that legislation and a contractual and behavioral practice in the workplace, which may constitute a valid deterrent to both undeclared work hidden, not regulated in a legislative way, by transparent and correct contracts, so that work in black, and to the exploitation of labor in the presence of the unfortunate phenomenon of illegal hiring. Working conditions of this nature in the agricultural sector, in particular, for young people and for the women in the areas most in need in precarious way of life, on the economic and social level, also favoring a positive cooperation between them and with the institutions present in their territories. Starting from Western countries, agricultural activity should constantly be realized according with the characteristics of the environments where it takes place, to the composition and fertility of the land, in the presence of efficiency at the level of the tools and means available to farmers, to the techniques of preventive treatment and cultivation of the soil, analyzing and taking care of its destination. It's important, in particular, comprehends for a farmer if its soil, in order to its inner potential and the respective features, is really arable or can be exploited for cereal cultivation, if the land is arboreal, intended for fruit trees, for grazing, for timber, materially provides the basis and conditions of subsistence and sustenance for each individual who benefits from him. Therefore, agriculture has its own importance, in particular in developing countries in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. The agricultural sector, in fact, represents the first item in the production budget of these nations and a concrete opportunity for an equal and gradual development. In these areas of our planet, but also in the Western world, the so-called organic farming is increasingly affirming that focuses on environmental sustainability. In fact, biological is free, that is devoid of the use of additives, chemical substances, herbicides, pesticides, fungicides, if not minimally, where they are necessary in order to a correct excuse me, maintenance of the quality of the products, for growth and resilience, as well as the state of the plant, which in otherwise it would perish due to certain pathogenic insects. It is also based on crop rotation without exceeding the intensive component in the exploitation of the single soil, making sure that it can maintain its humus and fertility over time. The chemical elements mentioned above, on the one hand, contrasts the onset and spread of pathologies that can affect plants and vegetables. On the other, if they remain, even in residual quantities after being purchased both in supermarkets and at the market, without having been adequately washed before being consumed or consumers' tables, are highly harmful to health of each consumer that could be affected by linked diseases. Organic farming enhances and protects not only the organoleptic qualitative fragrance and genuineness of the products, but also the accessibility of their cost on the market, concretely favoring the possibility of being purchased by a wide range of consumers. It's necessary taking care and valorize seasonal fruits and vegetables, inherent to respecting the maturation time and the time of year when it is right to consume it. The typical local fruits and vegetables, this kind of products, in order to the proximity sale, that is at kilometer zero from the producer to the consumer. This biological agricultural production encourages the short chain, thus reducing transport costs, which usually still today occurs on rubber, but also using packaging compatible with the surrounding environment in which they will be delivered, promoting recycling. Through this productive system and this model of sustainable agriculture, more solid relationships are also established in terms of trust between producers, farmers and cooperatives in the sector and consumer. This is a very favorable aspect to consider. Perhaps for the farmer themselves who practice organic farming, especially